Hey, welcome back, Generals. This is General Johnny, and today we have a 4v4 tow match, and this is on a custom map of France. Okay, so nothing historical on this one, but we're going to go through some awesome points on how to beat the blob. So a lot of you guys know about the blob, you've seen the blob before. And most people that do the blob are usually playing as Imperial, but that's not a steadfast rule or anything. In this case, it can be really any unit with pretty good melee is going to be effective in the blob. So we'll go over some pointers just because it does happen in this game, and you know I've seen worse cases of it, but this will be a good refresher on that. So anybody who's new to the channel, by the way, so I'm going to be doing a battle analysis series. We're going to go through Napoleon Total Warfare 3 gameplay, and we're just going to go over some tactical and strategic concepts, you know, pointers, and kind of just talk through some of the decisions, for better or worse, okay, of what is going on. So if you guys enjoy that kind of content, please like, subscribe, and follow, and I'll be posting a lot more of that in the coming days and weeks and so on. So without further ado, we'll do some team introductions. Alright, so again, this is just a theater of war match, so nothing historical, but we have 10-point France, España in the back, 1809, okay, and then we have 8-point France from 1814, and then 1809, 10-point Austriche, and up front we have 8-point España, 1811. Okay, so this is actually me right here, and basically what we did, so for the enemy we have the Austrians, okay, and they've got this big contingency of cavalry here. Okay, we have the Russians. Okay, we have some other Austrians over here, and then we also have the Spanish. Okay, the Spanish are pretty far away, so they've got to get to the fight. They've got a long way to go. Alright, so the first real interesting thing that happens here is the cavalry engagement. So as you can see, we've kind of grouped up all of our cavalry, and from the get-go we knew that the enemy was going to be just located here, right off to our left, kind of isolated. So we wanted to see if we could isolate him further, gang up on him, get him stuck in place, and get him to fight us. And that's kind of exactly what he did. This is a thing with the Austrian cavalry here. I mean, a lot of this is pretty good cav. Like, this can fight off, and at first we were talking about whether we wanted to fight this, but yeah, this is a lot of good cav. They definitely can do some damage, but with all of our cav, you'll end up seeing what ends up happening. I won't ruin it, I won't spoil it right now, but whenever you're doing something like this, it takes a lot of micro, especially with cav, and you guys know how this game can be with the lag. So it's really, you got to communicate with each other and kind of, you know, orchestrate this as much as possible, because you don't want to lose too much cav. You know, yeah, we want to destroy this, but we don't want to lose too much in the process. Okay, so here we are bringing up some guns, maybe try to make them force a point here. All right, but other than that, we're just kind of surrounding his cav as much as possible, seeing if he's going to take the bait, okay, and then, yeah, so the rest of us, you know, we're just deploying. So the 8-point France is going to the right here. I think wants to establish a defense over here to eventually fight off the Spanish. Alright, we have our first deployment spot, pushing really hard, and here we go. So this is the Cav Charge, okay, and you can see they're a little bit hesitant, but they know they got caught at this point. They'd rather charge, alright, than, you know, just lose everything by trying to run away. Alright, so here it is, okay, You can see the morale. Morale is the most important part of that. Okay, looks like defeated in the middle, but they did get through. This guy should have 8-point. France really should have been protecting it, but I think he was microing over here as well.
Our men are running.
Alright, so we do end up destroying them. They do get those guns, but that's a pretty fair exchange, okay? We lost 2 units of cav and some guns. They lost all 5 units of their cav, so pretty good exchange. Alright, we're happy at this point, and now we're going to advance on the main body. Okay, they do gain back 1, but I mean that's not going to do much. Okay, and then the rest of France, as you guys know, France is a lot more mobile than some of these other nations. So the biggest thing is to advance as fast as you can on a nation like Austria that's really not that mobile. Okay, so he decides to plant down. I think he's got mostly just line infantry. I mean, yep, that's all line. Okay, yep, line. Might have some lights in there. Yeah, but so he posts up here, and you know, better for worse for his team, that's what he ends up doing. He does have some cav now reinforcing, so this is gonna start kind of shaping the battlefield, making us really, we're not going to have as much flexibility with our cav. We could have, you know, gone up the middle if this cav hadn't shown up, but they did. Okay, I do like this cav over here. All right, kind of pushing the right flank and creating that edge. Okay, we don't know at this point with the fog of war how much cav they actually have here. But yeah, this is our first glimpse at it, right? Okay, so we're just repositioning, trying to push very hard onto this. I mean, this is best case scenario. This is what we wanted the enemy to do, was to post up there and then just give us enough time to get those armies up. So it's one key thing about France. Okay, so they can take the initiative. They're very fast, very mobile. So if you take the initiative at the right time and you're coordinated in that, and everybody kind of has their lanes, as you can see, already established here, okay, then France can be really good. But the problem with it is, you know, the more coalition a lot of time just has to survive. Okay, they have to survive because in between those exchanges, it's like a battle of attrition. So the more kills they get and they rack up, okay, they look at these lines, how much thicker they are than some of these French lines, so they can afford a lot more damage. And you can see now we're starting to rip into them with the 6-pound horse artillery. Okay, so get some good shots, good kills here. Alright, very good kills. Alright, get those lights involved, getting them up there, getting some shots off. Alright, and then whoever this was, I actually love this. So 10-point, France is moving up with their cav, okay, flanking around. Remember, we destroyed all their cav, so he's already decided he's gonna take all this cav and put it behind him. All right, and I like how he's not forcing the point too much right now. Okay, he does kind of play a little bit slower than I typically do, but you know, this is a good move that he's repositioning here and letting them fall deeper into the snare, the trap, right? So we're gonna wait till they establish, you know, we all establish some sort of line, because we still have units coming in. As you can see here, lots of units still marching in. A lot of our cav is still screening forward, just making sure they don't get attacked while they're falling into line. Okay, but I like how he's holding off here, because if he charges into the back eight, these guys with no infantry support, it's not really, they'll be able to hold off a lot longer than if they're under fire and, you know, they've already taken some casualties. So at this point, Russia starts coming into the fold, as you can see here on the left flank of Austria. Okay, so that's probably why Austria decided to go ahead and move up at this point. I don't know why they're not pushing the point over here to kind of try fending off some of this cav. They're really just letting them roam around. But you can see the lines start to kind of, they're just falling in as they come up. They're falling into their position. All right, so it's a little bit messy. This was probably one of the messier games that I've played, but you'll see later too with the blob how messy that gets. But yep, they're just setting up their lines as they can and ripping off some great shots. Alright, and then finally his cav comes in. Actually pretty good timing, alright? So when we were playing this, it felt like a lot longer, but, you know, that is actually great timing. So, you know, we started establishing the line, got those good shots off, and then he's starting to really just go in there and start to pick them apart. And you can see how effective that cav is, especially against those units that, you know, can't form square or anything like that. Alright, and he is just tearing them up. Alright.
Our general is under attack.
So here Russia is, alright. You can see how deep their lines go, how they're kind of stacked up. Alright. All the forces over here aren't even in place yet, but they're getting there, okay? These lines are a lot thinner because a lot of their forces still haven't gotten there. This left flank, though, is going to be a huge problem if they, again, haven't fended off. I'm surprised they haven't even tried. Maybe folding this flank in. I don't know why you'd advance unsupported. This is what we call unsupported infantry that's just advancing. And you can see they're getting really punished for it. And they're just taking hits here left and right. Okay, they're really getting torn up on this left flank, which is great. Okay, and at the same time, alright, Spain finally shows up a little bit with their cav. It looks like they're just really positioning, and the rest of these armies are just moving up. But most of the line battle is happening over here, and a lot of that cav flanking around. Honestly, this is good, cycling in and out, but I think some of these cycles could be faster. I think we could have taken a lot more advantage here, okay, starting picking apart some of this stuff too and cycling in and out that cav. So when we say cycling in, you know, you don't want to get your cav too tired. You can see here they're already tired, very tired. That's active. Okay, once cav gets to that very tired / tired state, they're pretty much useless. All right, they don't fight as well, they can't move, they start getting shot, they're gonna lose a lot more units than what they're gonna be killing. And here they are, they're, you know, Russia's doing a really good job here of concentrating their fire on this line, okay? And, you know, all things considered, Austria is still in the fight. I think at this point you need to realize, like, when you've kind of overextended, but his army is so big and so, you know, clunky that he's not really going to be able to retreat from here. So that's the real issue here. Now, this is good that he's helping out Russia kind of take on the middle France, the imperial forces over here. Let's see real quick. So I like this teamwork here, and look, it's already the you know, morale is starting to a little bit, you know, it's not breaking, but it is a little bit low over here, and this they're winning, they're outgunning this entire army. Okay, so really pretty good job there. And here we go, Austria is finally sending in his cav, okay, to fend off some of the French cav. And you can kind of see how that's going. Alright, the light cav isn't going to do much there against the dragoons. Alright. I think that's you know, too little too late in that situation, okay? They should have done that a little bit earlier and covered the retreat. And there you go. That's Ledoux, for all you guys know about the heavy cav, Ledoux. Alright, Cheval. They come in and they automatically take out an entire infantry battalion here, okay? And now they're going to keep moving on. Alright, this line is really just starting to shatter, okay, on the left side. Let's go check out and see what's on the right side. Okay, so Spain Foley is showing up in force. This is a little bit of an overextension. I know we're winning here, but this is a little bit of an overextension. I don't know. I think that flank actually takes a lot of damage, so we'll see how the rest of that goes. But you can see the fray, you can see the chaos that Ledoux is creating here, and then they form square here, so kind of don't want to take those shots and really try cycling it out. But it's heavy cav, so it's going to take a little bit. They're tired, okay, so they can retreat from there. Alright, this line is getting a lot of charges. Looks like they took out some artillery there, or maybe they got it away, but still those guns aren't manned at the moment. Okay, some more Cav charges here. Alright, and then the middle. Okay, and here it comes. Did not realize at the moment, but this will turn into a full-on assault. Okay, they are outgunning at this point. They do have more guns than the French here. Alright, trying to set up some more guns, get that into fight. 12-pound or 8-pounders, okay, but they're F2s, so they just now got the fight. And here we go. They're gonna initiate that attack right over here with the lights, try getting some of those kills. Alright, but Ledoux's gonna come in and counter charge. At this point, these skirmishers aren't really worth that much. Would rather get a cav kill out of it. Alright, and this is what we're talking about here with the kind of the blob tactics. They have that second line already coming in and they're just walking them forward. Cav charge and support, actually pretty good attempt here. So they're gonna break a lot of units. Alright, they're gonna take a lot of damage on both sides here. Okay, seems like they're still fighting. They might have wanted to charge in there too, so this could have been a lot worse. But here it is. This is chaos. You have a square formed over here just as a backstop for everything. You have Ledoux fighting it out, duking it out over here. Alright, against also some heavy cav. So both units of heavy cav. Alright, who do you think's gonna win there? Alright, and then the Russians seem like they're just breaking through, they're taking out, they're going into the second line of the French, okay? Already attacking the cannons. It looks like those things are pretty much gone. Okay, we have some reinforcements setting up. Alright, kind of absorbing that shock. Alright, still have a lot of cav. This entire left flank now has fallen. Pretty much only a few troops remain. Okay, but they're still duking this out. This is just absolute chaos down here. And what's happening over here is, alright, so Spain just establishes a good fire here. Alright, not sure what happened at this portion, but probably that overextended section. So didn't have a very good line. It looks like they're penetrating, but as long as they fall back, alright. And this blob is working pretty well for the Russians. Okay, they've pretty much decimated that first line, and there's a lot of fling French now. So I mean, this is looking pretty bad at this point, and both of these things are going on at the same time. So a lot of retreating, okay, or at least tactical withdrawal, which is different than retreating. Okay, so if you need to take a tactical withdrawal, this is not the best withdrawal I've seen on this side. Okay, but at least for this, okay, there's a lot of covering units, and they did not really follow up in a pursuit. They had those reinforcements coming up here, okay? So I mean, they had this second line ready to kind of take place of that first line and kind of rally the rest. And you can see a lot of these units are going to come back. Now over here, not so sure, okay? If I were the coalition, I would have probably sent in a lot more cav to run this down, okay? Because a lot of this would probably go back. It does look like they have some cav coming in there. Alright, but look at this. They didn't want to follow up. They didn't want to commit either here. They might have been able to puncture it even further. Okay, so right now it's looking a little bit chaotic, but at this point, maybe might have absorbed the worst. We don't know. Alright, Spain is looking very heavy on this side. And the middle is faltering. Okay, and here we go. Basically the entire French force that was BLOB attacked is coming back at this point. I mean, even the general ran away for a little bit, and they're coming back now too. Okay, and meanwhile they're still working that left flank. That left flank is the biggest, it's the most important part of this battle right now. To even stand a chance is having that left flank go through. So let's see what else is going on here. Okay, just establishing a line fight again. Some beautiful line fights here. Okay, Spain is really wants to. I'm not so sure why Spain isn't pushing this even further. Honestly, this is their only opportunity to win. They're basically down a player the way they lost over here with that left flank. So they really need to make up some ground here. They made up a lot of ground here, but again, a lot of those forces are coming back. You can see them reorganizing, and they're still putting the pressure on. All right, there. Okay, stopping the bleeding. Okay, yeah, some of these forces are coming back. Yep, you can see them right there. It's not good. You don't want to see, you know, units that you've already beaten come back to battle. And here we go. They're stabilizing here. Okay. Okay, and the Spanish really just need to take this entire, I mean, that's one unit of infantry. They just need to take that at least. Okay, because this is faltering. This is really faltering now. I mean, you can just see the chaos. The absolute chaos. Alright, it looks like the pursuit is on. Okay, at this point, we're trying to just finish them off so that we can go help. We can go help this eastern flank, okay? They really need that help. Because while they're holding here, I'm not so sure how long they're going to be able to do that. I'm really not sure. Oh my gosh, the artillery is brutal. These little, oh yeah, those little leftover Russian units are not going to do anything. This is really probably just a desperation charge right now. There's nothing they're really going to do here into two squares. All right, they're going to get a pretty nasty volley over there. Okay, and we have French Cav coming in. It looks like the French Cav going for a general snipe. Okay, that's going to help him. That's going to help the French over here really hold him off if they can get that general. Which I believe they should.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Alright, the rest of the battle is ensuing here. This is just really mopping everything up here. So the battle is really going to be decided from this point forward over here. I just don't think that Spain has enough forces. Now they've lost their general before they've even reacted. I mean, he's doing a lot here. So look at that. That is, yep, those are pretty nasty volleys. So they are taking a lot of damage there. But these forces, they are not even coherent enough at this point to fight. They're in full retreat. They do have some other Austrian units holding up here. Okay, but this is going to be all on Spain at this point. They've taken out their general. Okay, it looks like French Cav is also in the back, just tearing them up. And here comes more Cav. mopping it up. This is important, all right? So this is the pursuit we're talking about. I don't think that they have a chance at this point, but notice how you have a light cav come in, right, and mop up the rest of this so that you don't have an entire army. This entire army came back after it had already retreated. A lot of these forces did the same. I like what Spain's doing over here, coming around, just taking advantage of that, but I also like what France 8-pointer over here is doing, retreating to the wood line, just staying alive because he knows the worst is past. His reinforcements have already won, so they just need to get there. Okay, everything else is mop up, but you also don't want to have to deal with these guys potentially coming back, causing more chaos. It looks like the Austrian general is still alive. Caught it in the mop up. See, that's an important part. It's an important part of having that light cav come in. Yep, there you go. Alright, Cav's coming in. Perfect time for a cav charge is when enemy is withdrawing or retreating or moving away from the fight. Okay, that is the perfect time to send up, cycle in some cav, and cycle it out. And now that artillery is really rocking over here too. Probably getting some gnarly shots. The rest of the line battle is going to be in this area right here, along this wood line. This is a good wood line to have. I like how this French player is playing right now. They're biding their time. They don't have to win. You don't always have to win your 1v1 fight. You have to look up from the micro and really assess, was this worth holding on to, or was it worth falling back and letting the rest of this army mop up and take over and really destroy the rest of this army? Oh my gosh. Friendly fire on Ledoux. 43 out of 132. That's crazy how many units you can lose there and still have an effective unit of cav. Yep, that artillery is just going to tear them up. And the rest of this is, I mean, the battle at this point has been over. As soon as they pushed through here with the Russians and that assault was repelled, it wasn't as much repelled as it was absorbed, I would say. Okay, it was very chaotic, and I think it was absorbed well, and they didn't have enough combat power to really pursue and make anything of that success, right? So they weren't able to follow up with anything meaningful. Yeah, they routed pretty much the entire army was routed, but and a lot of this army was routed, but they did a really good job of retreating. They did a little bit better pursuing here, but I think there were a lot more forces over here as well, and I don't think Spain was being aggressive enough, and now they're really paying for it. See some of the beautiful line battle over here. Not so beautiful for the Spanish, but hand-to-hand combat. Alright, and here it is again. Cheval Ledoux. Just absolutely decimating the line, running down every single Spaniard. Alright, so that's pretty much the battle. They have a few leftover troops. I think they have one in this building and then another cav that comes back over here, but that's pretty much the battle. Alright, that is France custom map, okay? 36 point versus 36 point. All Imperial against Spanish, Austria, Russians, okay? 2 Austrians. So it was a pretty good battle. I really enjoyed playing it. They had a lot, but yeah, those blob tactics do work. I mean, I think that charge might have been, it seemed like he was planning it. I'm not sure. The way he had that assault formation where it was stacked up, and you know, he had his cavalry and everything, I think that was well. But the biggest thing that you just need to know is, if you're gonna do that, you really got to follow up. You got to commit, because it's either you commit and you know, you change the tide of the battle, or you know, even with all the success and routing that entire army, not following up, I mean, basically ended up the same result, because he didn't have enough guys to really do anything else meaningful from that point forward. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and you know, I hope you enjoyed this battle analysis. I hope this was a little bit quicker. Again, like, follow, subscribe, General Johnny. I'll be out with a bunch more battle analysis. If you guys want to send in any of your videos to be analyzed and you know, talked over, talk about the good and the bad, alright? If you like that, then just send it to me at General Johnny on Discord, okay? I'll leave my link below, and I'll see you guys next time.